皆さんこんにちは、SOL留学です。本日はこちらチャルトンブラウンさんにお邪魔しています。本日はこちらチャルトンブラウンさんで提供のあるインディビジュアルサポート、こちらエイジドケアのコースですね。こちらのコースのキャンパス見学にお邪魔しています。今回は実際にどういった履修内容があるのかについて、実践形式を通してお話をお聞きさせていただき、終盤には実際に学校のスタッフの方に、こちらのコースの内容、また課題、将来的な職種についても Q&A セッションという形でお話をお聞きしていきたいと思います。それでは行ってみましょう。
Explain about the difference between Certificate 3 and Certificate 4 in individual support.
All right, so we have Cert 3 in individual support and Cert 4 aging support. A Certificate 3 in individual support would be an entry-level course. Okay, if you want to work in aged care, that's where you first come in. And then the Certificate 4 in aging support would be studying more units, like for example, palliative care, how to look after someone who is or end of life care. You will also probably do some medication units, talking about networking as well. So with the Cert 3, you'll have 13 units, and then for a Cert 4 course, you will be doing 18 units. So that's 5 extra units from the Cert 3.
Could you tell me about the attendance requirements, the length of the theory and placement?
In terms of attendance, you need to have at least 80% of all your classes. In terms of balance of theory, I have lectures, we have PowerPoint presentations, we have practical lessons in class, like what we call simulations. Say for example, a class about a client living with dementia, we try to do some role plays of someone who has dementia or living with dementia, and then we see how do you adjust or how do you work around the situation and all that stuff.
Does Charlton Brown arrange the placement for students, or do they need to find themselves?
We have partner facilities for students to go into placement. If you're living far away, we can have the option of maybe you can find something for yourself, and then we will be organizing placement for you.
What is the hourly rate for AIN, especially like daytime, nighttime, or weekdays and weekends?
An average is around 24 to 25 per hour, dollars per hour on day rate. Towards the afternoon, probably looking around 26, 27. You go at night, you probably go at 29. If you go casual, then you will be earning more. On a Sunday rate, you get times 1.5 of your usual rate. Then 175 on a Sunday. And then for a public holiday, you get double the rate.
So I know you've talked about you use simulation and practical lessons during the classes. Just a couple questions in regards to the assessments for the students studying those courses.
Yep.
How's the assessment like? Is it like, do students perform in a simulation kind of environment, or do they just get to write a lot of assignments, or does placement will count a part of the assessment?
So in saying that, you have some of the assessments, or most of the assessments have two parts, parts A and B. Some would require a part C, which is the simulation. Then we have the part D, which is the placement. So part A would be about questions. You know, you have discussed about terms in Asia, like for example, duty of care. What does dementia mean? All those things. So you have to answer them based, from how you learned in class or from your readings. For part B, we have case study. We have a scenario, and then the students will be answering the questions based on what they think is. And then when we go into part C, that's where the simulation happens. We do it here, like for example, what we did. That's one example of simulation manual handling. So the students need to be able to perform this correctly and properly to be able to proceed to placement. And normally the part C's, all of them are requirements for placement, but you have to be able to really pass your simulation. So that's what you will be doing when you go into the placement. And then you have your part D, which is your actual placement. So this happens towards the end of the course. The students would be going into placement for 3 weeks to complete 120 hours.
And just one last question from me. So extending on the question that Grace has asked about working and wages. So we know that people who want to study those certificate courses might wonder what is the difference of what an RN do and what an AIN do in aged care facilities. Can you just tell us like the difference between the job roles?
I'll start first maybe with what's the similarity. Okay, both will be working on the floor. So you have your AN and then you have your nurses working together, for the clients. In the aged care setup, your nurses will be your team leader or your supervisor. Okay, So the ANs, they all report to the nurse. If there are certain tasks that the AN can't perform anymore, like for example wound care or medications or nursing stuff, then that's when they will be calling the nurse. So difference with the workload, AIN will be more of hands-on. They will be the one providing cares, your showers, activities of daily living. So they'll be working most of the time with the clients. As with the nurse, they're still going to be working with the clients, but different role. So more for nursing stuff, like for the medication, for the wound care. Sometimes the nurse would also be talking to family members, okay, in terms of what is they think the client needs or what is being observed.
はい、ということで本日ご紹介させていただいたこちらチャルトン・ブラウンさんですが、インディビジュアルサポートを取る上での大きな魅力としては3つ。まず1つ目は今回ご紹介させていただいたこちらブリスベンキャンパス、こちらは新設のキャンパスになりますので、もちろんシティからのアクセスもよく新しい施設で勉強ができるというのがまず1つ目のポイント。そして2つ目、こちら経験豊富な講師陣ということで、インタビューの内容にもありましたが、こちらチャルトン・ブラウンさんには実際にエイジドケアセクターで働かれた経歴、もしくは現在進行形で働かれている経験豊富な講師陣が揃っていますので、そういった経験を踏まえた上でのレクチャーや試験の査定を受けられるというのが2つ目のポイントになります。そして最後3つ目、こちらは豊富な提携先ということで、こちらのインディビジュアルサポートでは実際に学校とエイジドケアセンターで提携を結んでいるところがとても多くなりますので、もちろんプレイスメントで派遣というところも完備されていますし、実際に過去の学生さんでもそのプレイスメント先から職を得たという方、もしくはそのコネクションを使って就職にたどり着いたという方もとても多くなりますので、この学校とエイジドケアでのコネクション、また提携先が多いというのは大きなポイントになります。はい、ということで本日はこちらチャルトン・ブラウンさんのインディビジュアルサポートコースエイジドケアにつきましてお話をさせていただきました。こちらにつきまして何かご不明点等ございましたら、ぜひSOL留学の各ソーシャルメディアもしくは公式 LINE からご連絡いただければと思います。またこういった学校やコース、または職種につきましてもSOL留学の YouTube では数多く動画を発信しておりますので、ぜひチャンネル登録とグッドボタンの方をよろしくお願いいたします。それでは次の動画でお会いいたしましょう。ありがとうございました。